overtake the MDX. See ya, big brother. Welcome back, I'm Tedward, and tonight is my last night with the 2022 Acura RDX A-Spec with the Advanced package. And I wanted to take you on a little night drive to just get a feel for what it's like in the interior and the cabin with the lights and the dashboard and all the goodies. I do love the lights on this car. I think it's a really handsome package, and I've enjoyed driving it day to day for the past week. It's got a 4-cylinder turbo that makes about 270 horsepower. It's mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. But the real shining star of this vehicle is the super handling all-wheel drive, the SHAWD, the SHAWD, as it says on the back. Its ability to transfer power from front to rear is, of course, expected in an all-wheel drive platform, but the way it's able to move power to the left and right to make sure it almost grapple hooks you around a corner on power is fascinating. Let's start it up. I think it's really important to take a look at these cars at night because everything gets these great ambient lighting things now. So we'll go out to some real dark roads and get a feel for it. Headlights are in automatic mode. We've got these brilliant red gauges. I love a red gauge in a car because at night, that's so much easier on the eyes. The only problem is that often that means you've got a bright center display, but we can dim that as well. We can very easily adjust our heads-up display so it's right where we want it to be. And then we can even change the brightness of that heads-up display with the touch of a button. Everything's right there. It's really easy to use. That's what you want. I don't want to go through menus for this kind of stuff. To put it in drive, we've got our NSX style shifter, and away we go. Now, I'm just so impressed with the headlights on this RDX. This is without high beams right now. I have an incredibly crisp view ahead of me. It's illuminating the road really well, and there are no street lights out here. And there's even like that nice perfect line across the road. You do worry sometimes, though, that folks are going to think that you're blinding them with your brights when you've got headlights this nice, but that's all right. We know we're not. When we put the high beams on, though, we illuminate everything. It's almost as if you've got an aftermarket light bar strapped to the grill. It's pretty impressive. And the tone, the shade of the light, the temperature of that light is beautiful. It's a very cool tone. So it does a great job of illuminating the road exactly how you want it. Look at that blinding on the reflection of the sign. That's what you want. And then pop it in a sport mode. Grunty little 4-cylinder. The seating position in this RDX is pretty nice. It's a little bit high, but I know that's what the consumers want. I know they like a tall seating position. I know that I'm not the norm when it comes to that. I like a sporty, low seat, but I do still feel like I have great visibility. I don't feel like I'm sitting on top of the car, especially because I've got loads of headroom. All important for your daily driver. But I think, man, they really could have gone head and shoulders above the Germans if they just sunk this seat way, way down. Learn from Porsche. That's the ticket. Let's jump out to the highway. I guess this Acura MDX is in no mood to utilize his super handling all-wheel drive, but such is life. We can't expect everyone to be quite as passionate and enthusiastic as us, can we? No brakes. You don't need the brakes. Come on, man. I know what you got there. overtake the MDX. See ya, big brother. On the highway, this just does the job. It's really well insulated. The sound system, this has such an incredible sound system. Ooh, we're getting a text message on our Apple CarPlay. We'll check that out later. I've got my steering assist if I want it. Uh-oh, lane departure warning. It's freaking out. No, it's not doing that bad. It's actually doing a pretty good job. It's holding my lane. And, you know, I didn't plan this, but we are following a Tesla who is presumably on autopilot. Or maybe not. He's ping-ponging around. It's probably autopilot. But, you know, this does a pretty good job. And while I don't recommend using this at all times, and I definitely don't recommend using these types of systems in order to look at your phone, in order to do things, I find them incredibly valuable on trips because it allows me to, let's say I'm just opening a bottle of water or like opening a granola bar. It's a nice little backup just to make sure that just in case something does go wrong, I have an extra set of eyes. Jump off the highway with our Tesla friend. Very satisfying with the dynamic mode to be able to just switch between comfort, normal, and sport with this switch. I like that. An eager powertrain. I do feel like it's on your side. You can wring its neck, but it's happy to do it. It doesn't feel like you're overworking it to get what you want because it does have quite a bit of torque. So it's got that grunt, and this 10-speed transmission just keeps it in the power band, which is a beautiful thing. And then you just lean into the throttle a little bit. Pretty snappy downshifts. Like every manufacturer, they claim it's lagless. You know, there will always be some delay with the turbo because you're always going to have to produce exhaust gases to produce intake pressure. That's just the way it goes. But this is certainly quick. But I think they did a great job with this adaptive suspension. The difference between comfort and sport mode is exactly what you want. There is a distinct difference between that stiffness. And I do get frustrated when cars have like a normal mode and a sport mode, and you can barely tell the difference. You know, you've got the ability to change the character of a vehicle at the touch of a button. You might as well make that range nice and wide. They've done a good job with that. And in addition to that, sport mode is not so stiff that it's trying to show off. You know, when you get, and this is a crazy comparison, but you get into like a Porsche 911, a GT3 or something, you get into Sport Plus, it gets so stiff. It gets so stiff that it shatters your teeth. And I get it, that's for a racetrack, totally different situation, but what most people are using that on the road. We don't need our sport modes to be so stiff that they're unusable, and I think the sport mode in this car is actually dialed in for somebody who wants to hoon this around an off-ramp, but also recognizes that there are road imperfections out here. So love it when you get green lights. That's how you dial in your fuel efficiency. auto start stop can do all the work at once, but a green light is the key to real fuel efficiency. Now, I wanted to show you one last thing. The HVAC system off, all we're hearing is the road noise, a little bit of engine noise, nothing crazy. But with our cooled seats, that makes such a unique and like white noise maker sound. If you've ever been to a therapist's office with like a white noise machine, it's exactly that sound. I wanted to drive with it on, and I drove with it on in the daytime video, and maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe that's a little distracting, but it is a noise that is part of the experience. I'll turn it off just so you can get the difference. Ready? So that's with it on. And now it's off. So it's just like a white noise machine. It's not egregiously loud though. I was actually driving a BMW 745 Li today from 2005, and I turned on the seat coolers, which miraculously it had. Those were loud seat coolers. That was like turning on a refrigerator from the 1970s. I was kind of shocked actually, but I guess I shouldn't be so surprised. So with fuel prices rising, I'm curious about your choices of your next purchase. Are you looking at the same kind of cars that you were looking at 6 months ago, or $5-6 a gallon? Is that starting to make an impact on whether or not you are going to get that V8 BMW, or maybe you're going to hunt down a more fuel efficient Honda like I did? That's going to do it for me today. Thank you guys so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Don't forget to respect the drive, and I'll see you in the next one.